Hello friends, back for another run chat. Figured talk a little bit about being a new runner, starting out, some tips and tricks for, getting in the groove of things. So yeah, stay tuned.
3, 2, 1, go!
I started running about 6 years ago now. I was in training for my first 10K, which was a 2015 Walt Disney World 10K. Now, I still consider myself a relatively new runner. I'm still learning, but I think even if I was 10 years into this or 20 years into this, you're always still learning and things change as time goes on. But for very new runners, I think it's important to be excited, but also be mindful that you're going to, make mistakes, or, things aren't going to go always the way you want them to. And it's important to, just trust the process and make sure you really just work towards your goal, and don't worry about if the training process isn't all rainbows and puppies or whatever. Now, when you're just starting out, obviously it's better to take things slow. Some out there may jump right into their first half or full marathons, but most, I would say, don't, and I certainly didn't. However, after my first 10K, I did quickly ramp up, and the next year I went for the half marathon, and then the following year I went right away for Dopey and my first marathon. As I was saying, my third year of running, I jumped right in and went for my first marathon and Dopey challenge. That year the half ended up being canceled, but it was, it was a big, stepping stone for my running journey. And since then, I've run 4 marathons and I think 7 or 8 half marathons, and it's just been, it's what you make it, really. It's a lot of people will say that you shouldn't do your first marathon as part of Dopey, or stuff like that, and I'm not necessarily a believer in that. I say do what you feel is right for you. Obviously there's always a chance for injury, or a chance that things may not go as the way you hoped, but that's part of life and the process of becoming a runner. So when you're just starting out, it is probably best to, start with that 5 to 10K range. And there are plenty of training plans out there. A lot of people use Couch to 5K, Couch to 10K. I talked a little bit about training plans in a previous vlog that I'll link to. But I think you have to remember that when it comes to the training plans, if you miss a run, or if you have to move things around, don't be so strict that you have to do the training plan as it exactly says it, because you don't. I don't think I've ever had a training plan that I've 100% kept and ran every single run, and ran every single run on the day it was supposed to. Obviously, you don't want to, if you miss a run, don't sit there and try to make it all up on, the next day or something. Just, if you miss one run, just skip it, move to the next one. If now if you're missing a lot of runs that could be, problematic to your overall training. But you just gotta, roll with the punches and do the best you can, and you'll get to that goal, whether it's not this time, but next time. You'll get there eventually, and just keep working and striving for that end distance, end goal, whatever it may be. I think the last piece I'll talk about for newbie runners is equipment or gear. And when I first started out, I just ran in some my first 10K. I can insert a picture, but I was just like Nike free runs or whatever, just simple tennis shoes really. So they weren't anything special, and I made it. I did fine, but I think that's part of it. Is you don't need to go out right away and buy $200 shoes or anything like that. You can get by as starting out to just see where you are, and wear some tennis shoes, and then as you get into it and you notice your tendencies or things like that, then you can go to a running store, or go try on different pairs of better specifically for running shoes and stuff like that. And over time you'll learn more about your form and different things that work for you. You also have different nutritional aspects, which is not, I wouldn't say is as necessary for the 5K 10K distance. Obviously drink water or Gatorade, Powerade, stuff like that. But when you start getting to those bigger distances, half and full marathons, you really need to pay attention to what type of nutrition works for you. For me, I've tried goos. They don't really work all that well for me. Taste and just the texture of them just isn't for me. So I go with what Run Disney uses in Sport Beans, and that really works well for me. I don't tend to do much else. Once in a while, if I have like a 20 miler, I'll have a banana or something a little bit more substantial. And then for those longer runs, I'll also mix in, I'll use Gatorade or Powerade and alternate with water. And so yeah, that's, I think, some of the basic things to get you started if you're a newbie runner. So I think it's important to finish off today with a little note. Yesterday I ran 8.46 miles, which is symbolic for what's going on in the country right now, and really all over the world. You see protests and movements to fix societal wrongs, and it's important that I think everybody watches and learns and listens and becomes better people out of this. And I certainly have. There's a lot of things I've learned. I've done a lot of listening, done a lot of, I haven't, I can't, not one that I can't really donate a lot of money and stuff like that, but I think it's important to do what you can. And I felt running 8.46 miles was an important and good thing to show my support for what's going on. And I hope everybody is staying safe and healthy, and you're enjoying what you can and stuff like that. So we'll see you next time. Kwaherini.